for your part of the reason. And then he's going to question you, so get ready.
Where's that chart going?
Yeah.
Where is it?
They're just getting set up. Just a second.
Oh,
No problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to send you some pictures too.
Okay, awesome.
Yesterday.
Very cool. The Mr. Cunningham sent us a video of yesterday's stuff too, so we can use that maybe to like sort of look at what we were able to accomplish or not, or where we would have. There were a couple questions that we weren't able to answer that maybe today, if you thought about them a little bit, maybe you'll come back for that. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, maybe a little bit. Okay. All right, are you guys ready? Who wants to talk first? David, all right. Go for it, David.
Okay, David. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my plan is extending the already long school day, and like pushing back the start time will make students tired and will affect family.
All right, next. Do you have something to add to that? Or do you have evidence to go with that, David? Where's your evidence on? Okay, so talk about that a little bit too.
I found a study made by the Center for Applied Research and Educational Improvement. The study shows that the school days affect life at home, family traditions, etc. And in the study, they also did quotes from parents and stuff. And it said the parents noticed many differences in the students' attitudes about school and them.
What does that show there?
Okay.
It shows that they're getting stressed by these days and that they should keep the days shorter.
Okay. What do you have to add to that?
I have stuff about the different topics that I talk about.
Okay. You have to talk a little bit louder.
Kids get less sleep with longer school days. Less sleep means the students will perform lower in class. And National Sleep Foundation says that teenagers from the age of 14 to 17 need about 8 to 10 hours of sleep, but the average teenager only gets 7.
So what does that show? How does that tie that back to our thesis?
That
about why it's not.
If it was a shorter school day, then kids would have more time to sleep.
Okay.
Shorter school days would mean less stress on the students, faculty, and the families. This would also solve the problem of parents wanting shorter summer vacations because the length of the school day would affect the overall length of the school year.
Could you repeat that? I didn't quite get the last part.
It would also solve the problem of parents wanting shorter summer vacations because the length of the school day would affect the overall length of the school year.
Okay. So you're saying that the year would be longer if we had longer days?
Yeah.
Okay. For shorter, it's going to be different.
Okay. We got one more speaker.
Back to what Alexa was saying, there was a study showing that teenagers' biological clocks are set back to wake up later. So that's why it's harder for students to get 9 to 10 hours of sleep because by the time that they're supposed to be going to sleep, their bodies aren't ready to go to sleep. To get up at 7:30, you have to go to bed at 9 o'clock to get the recommended amount of sleep.
Okay, so like that.
Sleep is as important as sleep is like food for the brain. So if you don't have enough sleep, it's going to be harder to concentrate in school. You're going to make more mistakes and forget things. So if you extend the school day, you're not going to have as much much time to sleep, and then you're not gonna be able to focus as good as school.
With the simile and everything.
Okay. So you had 4 major points, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So can I start asking questions in order of how you gave them, and then we can go from there? The first point I have down here was basically stress related. My question to you, David, would be, doesn't the current system have stress? And if we cannot get rid of stress in school no matter what we do, can we?
Good question. How do you answer?
Am I putting you under stress right now by asking you a question?
I was already stressed.
They've been stressed for 48 hours now. No. So are you just conceding the point? Picture this as Seth on the other side of the screen. What do you say to Seth? You would not let him get away with that. What would your answer be back to him?
Well, if you're just adding to it, and
What?
you're getting more overwhelmed if you extend the school day because that means more work.
Okay, you're assuming that more work is stressful, but in the case, do you not have stress during, like when you have vacations?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, you're assuming that more work would equal stress, but do not people have stress during summer vacations, winter vacations, and stuff like that as well?
Because of school.
Okay.
Maybe they're stressed out because of when school's gonna start.
Okay, and so you're saying all the stress for a teenager is dependent upon school, correct?
No, I don't want to sound like I'm.
Okay, so if we take your point and you win your point, then we would not, the best way to do it would have no school at all, correct?
We need a balance.
Okay, so then explain.
I mean, if we take your point to the ideal, the only ideal situation would be is that we'd have absolutely no school, and then we wouldn't be here, and then would that be helpful or not?
No.
Oh, okay, so you're saying that your point would not be helpful.
Shorter school days would cause stress.
David, I'm just messing with you a little bit. I'm sorry. Okay, that's really good.
He can take it. He's good.
Now, let's go to the next sleep. Less sleep. And in your point, you were saying that the average 13 to 17-year-old needs 8 to 10 hours sleep, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you were saying that longer school would be less sleep, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, now, how many students today, how long, let me ask you a question. In the current status quo, are students not getting sleep because they're on electronic, social media, telephones and stuff like that?
Yes, but I think they're also getting less sleep because of studying. They have to stay up at night and study for their school days.
Okay, so you think they have to study their Twitter accounts and their Snapchats and their Instagrams and stuff like that, correct? Because they can't get it during the day.
But we have to use some of the technology in school, like our Chromebooks and other technology.
Yeah, well, I can agree with that. How many hours of sleep do you personally get each day? Do you get 8 to 10 hours of sleep?
Like 7.
Okay, so, and you are currently going to a regular day of school, correct?
Yes.
So you just proved my point then, right?
But we're still tired.
How about all our forefathers, and how about all your great-grandparents and stuff that were on farms that worked from sun up to sundown, didn't get to go to school, and they were still tired too, correct? So
Yeah.
there are other things that make us tired besides school, right? Okay, let's go to the next one, vacations. I like this one. What's the purpose of education?
To learn.
Okay, so if the purpose of education is to learn, why do we have like summer vacations and stuff? What is that from? The idea of summer vacations come back from when we were in a rural society, correct?
Because
They need us where? They need us on the farm. So if we were going to take your point, we would have school year round, correct?
Not necessarily.
Well, wouldn't that be the best to do? Because, you know, you're saying vacations are hurtful. So if we had school all the time, so you're advocating a position in which we should never take a break from school.
No.
So then what do you
So you do want to take a break from school.
What is your solution? What are we proposing?
If you shorten the school day, if you take, how many days are in school?
108.
108 days, and you shorten it by an hour,
Okay.
that would be a month.
Okay. So you want to go to school 108 days or 180 days?
Currently going to school 108 days. If you go to school
Okay.
148 days,
Now, just doing a little math here, the average Korean will go to school about 250 days a year, equivalent to us. Now, would you want, and they would have equivalent of about 8 years education in a 4-year program. You realize that you are competing internationally with students that are going 2 and 2.5 times as much to school. Do you think that would show academically the same skills when you went to college? Are we setting ourselves up for failure if we did your program?
no.
Okay.
So why?
Well, let me ask you this, since I know you're in the Buckeye State. If Ohio State practiced football about a third as much as any other team in the Big Ten, what would happen to Ohio State football? Okay, now we understand. Okay, good. Okay. And the last one we have about biological clocks. I have my compadre here. He's going to talk to you about that.
You guys have to that we're not free,
Hi, good morning. I think I talked to you guys yesterday.
that our model issue, or the model from here is not what we want.
Okay, well, what was their argument? Or-
The argument was it,
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So going back to biological clocks, your argument was that some people just can't wake up early. Did you know that you can actually program your body and classically condition it to wake up at the time you want? Our sleep cycles are made in 90 minutes. So therefore, you can control at which time you wake up. Now, there's a difference between interrupting those sleep cycles and also planning those sleep cycles. Like, for example, we were go to sleep at 12, we would have to plan the 90-minute cycles in order to wake up at the time we would wish. For example, the best way to wake up would probably be, for example, let's say you go to bed at 11:30, you'd be able to wake up at 6 because of the sleep cycles and because they run on 90 minutes. So I would say, wouldn't you agree that your argument of people not being able to wake up early is moot?
But are you able to do that? In your sleep schedule?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you able to do that?
Mm-hmm. Psychology proves it. It goes with our neuroscience. We can classically condition ourselves to wake up by choosing our sleep cycles, and our sleep cycles run in 90 minutes each.
But do you personally do that?
Anyone can do it. It's all about looking at the time and doing simple math.
You argue on the same.
But,
Because you have studies too, right?
yeah.
So are you using those? Reiterate those. Or who is the one who brought up the sleep studies? That was you, right? Okay, so go ahead, Mackenzie, restate what you were initially saying.
Okay. So students perform, sleep is like food for the brain. So students are going to perform better in school and be able to focus more if they have more sleep. And to be able to get the recommended amount of sleep, you're going to have to go to bed earlier. So staying up and doing homework and anything else you need to do, spending time with your family, because like David said, you need to spend time with your family. You're not going to be able to go to bed and adjust your biological clock.
Well, I would say that really your performance, sorry, that was a voice crack. Really your performance really has to do with how many sleep cycles you get per night. Ours really have nothing to do with it. Our sleep cycles run in 90 minutes each, and we have 4 stages of sleep. The first one being the falling, which is when we fall to sleep, which is why sometimes you may get the dream that you're falling. That's really your conscious seeing how you're turning off and going down to sleep. And then we move on to the rapid eye movement stage, in which we're dreaming, which is basically where, on average, most adults and most teenagers get to. The other 2 are really just for the children under the age of 8 and babies. So that being said, it really just has to do how you organize yourself to go to sleep. You can really wake up early just by applying yourself to the sleep cycles. Again, they're 90 minutes each. And if you set the time, your body will wake up by itself. Now, something also to keep in mind is that our performance will do worse when you interrupt those sleep cycles. So as long as you keep those the sleep cycles intact, for example, you could sleep 7 hours, but if you interrupted a sleep cycle, you wouldn't perform as well if you had just slept for 4 sleep cycles.
So is it about the amount of sleep cycles or about how many hours you're getting?
It's about the sleep cycles.
Because according to the National Sleep Foundation, it's saying that teens need to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep each night to function best.
Well,
most teens that do not get this amount of sleep only 15% actually can get that amount of sleep. So if you're saying that it's so easy to change it, then why is only 15% able to do it?
Because like I said before, you don't apply yourself to the making sure that the sleep cycles are intact. People just go to bed. For example, people look at the clock and they're like, oh, well, it's 11:25. I might as well go to bed. The problem is that by doing that and waking up at a certain hour, like close, let's say you go to bed at 11:25 and you have to wake up at 6, you're interrupting sleep cycles. That's the problem. It's that people don't realize that you have to make sure that you don't interrupt those sleep cycles. And as long as people know that, then everything else is fine.
But we're already not getting the amount of, or following the sleep cycles. So when it's the way it is. So if you extend it, then that's going to push into the sleep cycles already.
Well, the problem with the sleep argument is that everyone is different. Not everyone can perform the same way based on the amount of hours you get. It's all about the sleep cycles and whether or not you interrupt those sleep.
So if you're saying that not everyone is the same, then not everyone's going to be able to change their sleep cycle.
Everyone can do it because psychology and biology has proven it that it is possible, and a lot of people, that's how I really manage my sleep. You stick to the clock, make sure it's in bed, wait.
All right. What now? Did we wrap up that point, do you think? I don't know. I think that was a pretty good one. Okay, so we have one more group that hasn't spoken yet. Would you like to talk with them a little bit too? What did you say your name was again? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm Risa Rodriguez.
One more time?
Marisa.
Risa, okay. I see. Okay, so where's our last group that hasn't spoken? Okay, you guys are up. Come on up. So our group of 3. Does that mean everybody's been at the table? Nobody like? Oh yeah.
I'll talk to you after.
Yeah. We have to say.
Do you want me to start or do you want to start? Okay.
Yeah, you guys have the
Hey, what is
questions
it?
on your note sheet where it says they say. That's why. When they ask us a question.
What?
What point do you guys want to start with?
I'm saying this. We also something.
Yeah, education. Do you want to start
I'm saying this.
with that?
All right, so say who you are first, so she knows who she's talking to.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Austin. I'm Mitchell.
Do we just say our claim and then we'll go ideas? Okay. Our claim is that students will be less stressed if there are shorter school days. And one of our points is that a student's education will be better from less stress and a student will have better grades. Some evidence is that, you want to say that?
What?
Say some evidence. Yeah.
If school days are shorter, still be able to get the same quality education. The Huffington Post said that by cutting time out of the school day, the student's education level would not be hurt, and the students would be able to retain the same information, whether it was taught within a half hour or an hour.
You might want to explain why your evidence supports what you're claiming, like in your
The evidence supports the claim because it will still be able to get the same education as before.
We also think that students will have time for more exercise and more after-school activities, and you need that to have less stress. And also spending time with family is very important. Rachel D. from Brooklyn, New York explains that students should gain more time for fun and also having time to gain an excellent education. And she also says that a shorter school day would leave more time for us to enjoy our lives and not have to rush through activities or assignments. You want us to do the last point?
Can you share like an example of a typical day already and compare that to how that might change? You know what I mean?
Like for me, when I go to school, my sport is swimming. So like when I get home, I only have like an hour and a half to study and do all my homework before I go to my sport. So it's sort of stressful because then I finish my sport at like 8 o'clock. So when I get home, I have like a limited amount of time before I have to go to bed to finish my homework and everything. So it's very stressful. But if we have shorter school days, then I'll have more time to finish homework and actually less homework, and then be able to go to my sport and have less stress. Do you want to see the last point?
Okay, Mitchell, you want to add on to what your group is talking about? What you found?
There was an article on Huffington Post about. There was an article on Huffington Post titled "High School Pressure and Why Students Need Shorter Days," and it says at one point, most of us have a wide range of after-school activities. Some participate in clubs, while others have jobs or sports. Some participate in more than one after-school activity, and by the time we are finished with the school day, and the activities, there isn't much time for them to complete homework or assignments and study for exams. If we had shorter school days, then that would allow us to have more time to study for upcoming exams or finish our homework earlier.
Were those all of your points?
Yeah, one is the question. Are those all the points you guys wanted to make? Or Austin, do you? Okay. Okay, so tell me yes. You said, are those all your points?
Yeah.
So she's in a question. Oh, this is one more.
Okay. I guess it's my turn then. All right. Well, I like to start off by addressing the less stress issue. When it comes to stress, there have been many studies, especially by Berkeley University, and they actually found that stress can help boost brain power. It actually helps you increase low-level stressors, stimulate the production in brain chemicals called neurotrophins, and strengthen the connections between neurons in the brain. In fact, this may be the primary mechanism by which exercise helps boost productivity and concentration. So stress is actually helping you develop a lot more concentration and a lot more when it comes to ideas and thinking. It helps you faster. It can also increase immunity, which is something that's extremely helpful in school. I mean, we're in high school, and we know that a sick day is not a good thing because we're going to fall behind on all of our classes. So that being said, if stress can increase immunity because when we're stressed, we're basically bracing ourselves for the prevention of an infection or to withstand injury. So by saying that, Dr. Shelton, the one who was talked to, that one way it does this is by producing extra interleukins, chemicals that help regulate the immune system by providing at least a temporary defensive boost. So stress is actually really good for us. It also motivates us to succeed. There have been many studies, especially again by Berkeley University, in which they found that stress has actually helped people be motivated, and they actually perform better under stress. They may feel like they are not, but studies show the opposite. Studies show that you are indeed doing better while under stress. Now, when it comes to same education with shorter days, I think that is something to worry about because we shouldn't aspire for the same. Instead, we should aspire for something better. I mean, one of your points was that we would have more time to do assignments. I don't think assignments are really essential when it comes to learning, especially when we're competing with people all across the globe. Once we get out there in the professional field, I think we would want to have a good education and up there with our competition. So I think that instead of focusing on more time to do assignments, we should focus more on the learning of our kids. We want to promote the fact that with longer school days, we do have more time to sit down, understand the subjects, and ask as many questions as we deem necessary, something that can't be done with shorter school days. Now, when it comes to exercise, obesity is a huge issue in our society today. However, like I said, when it comes to stress actually helps us, and it also helps increase our performance. So we enjoy exercise is way better than when we're stressed than when we're not. I think those were your main contentions, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, since I addressed those, I'd like to go into mine and say that, again, we would have more time to do actual learning instead of just worrying about the grade. I understand that high school can be hard, and we're just really here for the grades, but we should focus more on the actual learning. Because once we get to college, we're going to see competition from all across the globe, and we want to be prepared. Less stress, and I think the ball's in your court now.
You were talking about how stress helps. For me, when I get really stressed, I get like really frantic and I'm like running around and rushing and like trying to get everything done. So I don't think stress would actually help me. I think like I overstress a lot of the time, and I never really get anything done because I'm like too frantic and rushing around and everything.
I would say that's, however, based on the studies that Berkeley University did, I would say that all of those studies showed that those were, but even though those are the symptoms, the evidence still shows that stress is actually good for you. Like I said, those studies were actually surprising, but they're true, and that's the way it is. Those are the facts. And like I said, when it comes to having more time to do the assignments, we wouldn't have to worry about doing assignments if we already knew the information. And by what I mean by that is that if we have longer school days, we wouldn't have to worry about homework because we can spend more time on that subject and ask as many questions as we deem necessary, which I think would take out any of your major contentions.
When you were talking about after school activities and things, like for longer school days, like how would you fit family time in there? Like having the time for your just family activities, like going out to dinner or something like that, just regular family activities.
Well, we do have the weekend, and also when it comes to high school students, psychologically, based on a study recently done, it has shown that teenagers at this age do not have a lot of interactions with their parents. Simply, they're trying to find their identity. According to Piaget, that's their only real role at that time. From the ages from adolescence is really that's their purpose, is to find their identity. Now, when it comes to students and parents, they are there for major events, especially in school. And what other way to spend time with your parents than if we have longer school days, you would probably perform better in school, get more awards.
Do you want longer school days?
Me personally, I wouldn't mind. I actually, I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, but if you have longer school days and all you're worrying about is school, then you have no friends.
Well, I think one of the interesting things about school is that you get friends through school. You get to see which people you want to be involved with, really. You have, of course, the jocks and all the cliques in school. And I think that's great and all, but honestly, here's the way I see it. High school lasts 4 years. In those 4 years, you're going to meet a lot of people, teachers. In those 4 years, you're going to leave, and you're never going to see them ever again. You might find them through Facebook, but once you find them through Facebook, it's not like you're going to look at them back and say, hey, you remember we were best friends back in high school? Things change. And honestly, friends is not my main focus. My main focus is my education. So if I can get a better education, I would vote for a better education.
Yeah. She's gonna have to go after the place for a second. Okay? Just a moment. Mark, you want to do it? No, I'm taking breakfast. Yeah,
We're going back to the same question of what is an education? Is school
yeah. Now we get to start regular school, so I'll get somebody else over here in just a second. Thanks.
More stress.
Yeah.
Higher blood pressure.
It's kind of fun. It's just kind of fun.
More stress. And then you get higher blood pressure and then you die.
What is the purpose of being in school? And you need to defend why that time outside of school is just as vital as the time you spend in school. Like, learning doesn't just take place.
Tell me where you are.
Marco, and what's the debate again?
Does somebody else want to come up? Do we want to rotate a new group in? To get up there. You guys are writing furiously. Give us just 1 second. Writing furiously back there. Oh, okay. Mitchell's got a point, and then Caleb wants to join too. All right. Anybody else like itching to do that? No. Okay. It's a lot easier when you're back there to think of what you would say than when you're up here. Yeah, David over here. Oh, the other girl. Okay, and then go ahead and what did you say your name was, Sarah? Marco. Okay.
I'm Caleb.
Okay.
I'm Matt.
Got any questions? No?
Mitchell has a point to make. Go ahead.
You were talking earlier about how stress is for you. How she brought up the point that stress can be good for you, but studies show that overstressing leads to higher blood pressure, which means to put you in the hospital.
Kill you. I mean, stress is good for us in a way. For example, let's say you have homework done, and if you're not stressed, like you're not gonna have time to do it, and you're gonna be less motivated to do it. Just, for example, if you have to turn in the homework by tomorrow, and you're not stressed, you're not gonna be doing it. You're not gonna be worried about it. You're not gonna put effort in it. Instead, if you're stressed, you're gonna try to do it, get it over with, and at least like you're gonna be more prepared for it. Like, best.
On Friday, we will not have back-to-back.
That's mostly good or mostly bad?
Stress is good. In my point of view, stress is good to me.
We have some issues with
Stress helped you.
I have
Hello, my name is Antonio Ortega from Del Valle.
Hi.
Good luck.
Okay, so the last question David had was,
Does stress help you?
Does stress help you? Does it motivates you to succeed in practice, and you can get on task. Slack. Yeah.
So, do you want to be stressed?
Not all the time, not necessarily, but stress can help with many different curriculums, as in like sports. You can control your stress. Whenever you're practicing.
Don't people play sports to relieve stress though?
Yeah.
It's a whole package. School's not the only thing that makes you smarter and wiser.
Okay.
I don't know if they're seeing how all of our points tie together to that one thing. You know what I mean, Cass? Like our argument is really that time needs to be balanced between all of these things to make for a well-rounded teenager.
Oh, so the stress that you have, the more that you can release during sports or football games or any type of game that you're playing, therefore it'll better you. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
You don't necessarily need stress to become better or become, more educated. You need, confidence and different things to become balanced. You don't really just need stress.
But it is an essential factor for it makes you it motivates you to do better if you have more. Not motivates. Yeah, it motivates competition, teamwork.
Is practice the only way to learn?
Practice the only way to learn.
Well, there's more ways to learn, but one of the main ones is practice. For example, if you want to learn how to play basketball, you have to practice. But if you're not good at it, you're gonna have more time to practice. But other ways you can learn how to play it is by reading about it, having more experience from someone else who's played it.
What about the stuff in school? Is it the only thing worth learning?
Can you repeat the question?
What about the stuff you learn in school? Is that the only thing that's worth it?
Well, learning takes place inside or outside of school. So,
you're always learning.
Yeah, you're always learning and always getting new experience.
So you're agreeing with us that you could learn outside of school?
I'm trying to say experiences happen outside of school as well, but with like a longer learning day of school, you'd have more time to learn and experience more in each classes and study, eliminating homework or tutoring hours. It's a form of quality control.
School material isn't the most important, or some of the most important lessons in life. There's other things you need to learn that you can't learn in a classroom. Like you might know how to factor quadratics, but you can't cross the street.
I mean, where did you learn that inside of school?
In my life, I mean, I enjoy like wrenching around with like go-karts and stuff, small engines. I never would have learned that in school at all. I actually had to get out of school and find time to do that.
If you have longer school days, how are you going to learn outside of school?
Yeah, you won't have any time.
You have weekends, and
but the weekend's only 2 days.
Yeah, the weekends are going to be full with different activities. You won't have time for anything else.
You can't spend time with your family if you have stuff to do.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we're teens. Most of us don't spend time with our family, but yeah.
So are you saying that you don't like spending time with your family?
Most of us don't, so that's true. I mean, we want to be independent. We want more freedom. We're instead of spending time with our family, we're like outside with friends instead. More time to learn.
Isn't family time important?
Yes, but there's also weekends for that. I don't think that has to do with the longer school.
What if you have a ton of stuff to do on the weekends and you don't have time?
Explain what you mean by a ton of stuff.
Like studying or more homework from Friday or, you know, a project.
So you agree it's longer days will help you have less homework.
Yeah, those would be eliminated by longer school days.
Your schedule is going to be completely full. You're not going to have any free time for family. You're not going to have any free time for, you know, anything that you want to do.
You will have longer days in school. You will eliminate the homework days.
Are you saying that school's more important than family?
I've never stated that. We said that longer school days are more important and the education is more important. And we said that there's weekends or your time off and you can spend that with your family.
But you said not all of you spend time with your family.
True. We do have jobs, but that's
why we
So
want
when are you
shorter
going to
school
see your
days.
family?
Yeah.
There are lessons that can be learned from your family too.
Yeah, it's not just all school education. There's life lessons out there that need to be learned.
Yeah, but if you ask your parents, if you ask them if they rather want you to stay home instead of being somewhere where you learn something to succeed, they want you to succeed, so they're going to tell you to go to school for you to it's better.
Yeah, but is succeeding more important than, you know, life lessons or learning from your family? Like succeeding in school?
Well,
Many parents didn't finish school, so what are they going to teach you? Teach you sports.
Failure sometimes teaches you the most important lessons.
For example,
If you fail your driver's test and
If you fail your driver's test, you're more likely to go out and practice it more.
I understand for that too, and we have that in schools.
If you fail.
What did you say?
can you please repeat that?
Yeah, can you repeat that?
We have driver's ed in class in the school system.
Well, driver's ed doesn't teach you some of the most important stuff. Like, we call them field cars. They're rusty old beater cars that have been totaled, but we drive them around in the field. And there's some things like steering out of like mud pits or something, or taking control of your car while it's sliding, that people don't teach you at driver's ed. It's not all just learning how to operate your turn signals.
In a class, they teach you what to do in hazard spins. They give you lessons what to do. Then you either
But what if not all schools provide driver's ed?
Yeah.
Ours doesn't provide driver's ed.
most schools do.
What if driver's ed is separate from schools? And if you have longer school days, doesn't that mean you won't be able to get there?
If you have longer school, there's more chance for them to add it to your school. They might add it to school.
There's experiences that you can't learn in school, like hunting and fishing.
And different sports too. Some sports are at school.
So the longer school days will extend the extracurricular activities also.
You can't go hunting in school.
Okay, that's now. Thank you guys very much.
We'll email you. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thanks. Okay, guys. See you tomorrow.